So this is a writer's perspective of New York. Here we go. We were actually in New York to celebrate my parents' birthdays. During that week, I decided to read through my manuscript, The Eternal Library, and take some notes in the margin. Hopefully, this will be the last edit before I go into line editing and proofreading. So, fingers crossed that it will finally be released soon. On the day that we flew from Stockholm to New York, we started the day by hanging out in one of the lounges. It was really, really great. I've never been to one before. So we sat there, had a great breakfast, and I ended up writing an article for a collaborator that I'm working with. I write articles about how to market yourself as an author. And I wrote one of those pieces so I could send it away and, have my time off during the week in New York. So I did that in the lounge, and then I started editing my manuscripts. During the flight, I still had a lot of energy, so I continued editing during the flight. I edited for, I think, a few hours. Then I started drawing and reading and watching movies, whatever. It's like 8-something hours to New York. When we came there, it was so amazing. We came there Saturday evening. The atmosphere was buzzing. The hotel we stayed at was really close to Times Square, and it was just so cool. Like, at least for someone like me, who's, Stockholm is not that big. It's roughly around, I think, 1 million people. And New York is just like, everything's bigger, everything's louder, there's so much that you've read about in books and so much that you've seen in movies. So that was so cool and so inspiring. So I really wanted to take it all in, because who knows, maybe there will be a manuscript that I write in the future that will take place in New York, or where they'll go to New York. I don't know, but I did feel like I needed to soak it all in once I was there. And on day 2, I woke up quite early, so I started by going to the gym to run for 30 minutes, and then I did my meditation, and I did some writing before heading out with my family. We walked through Central Park and ended up going to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is one of the things that's been on my bucket list forever. And since I'm reading The Artist's Way right now, also going to museums and actually taking time to recharge myself creatively is so important, because I do notice that I need that to have the energy now that I'm working full time and working working quite hard on my books as well. So I need to recharge and take time for myself, and this is also the perfect opportunity for that. That evening, I took my partner out on a date. We went to the Bookmarks bar. That is a really, really nice place that has a cool literary vibe to it. They had pictures of typewriters on the walls and books and stuff like that. So if you go to New York, I definitely recommend that you check it out if you're a writer or reader. So today, I'm actually taking some time off from hanging out with the family, just to go to the public library and sit there and write. I was there for just half an hour yesterday to see one of the exhibitions, and it was so pretty. So I need to, just take some time for me and sit there and pretend that I live in New York for a day. And I really look forward to it. So follow along and see how much I can edit at the public library. And the book I'm editing is it actually takes place in a library. So it's so it's such a goldmine to be in one and feel the atmosphere and hear what people are talking about and just smell it. Because one thing that I'm looking at now that I'm editing the manuscript is do I get all the 5 senses? Because sometimes I lean too heavily on visual aspects and I forget smell and stuff. And smell is really important in this manuscript, because one of the creatures smell things a lot more. So when it's his POV, the smells are super duper important, because that is one way that the reader is going to recognize the fact that it is a vampire that has the POV. So I'm looking a lot of stuff like that, and it was just amazing. They had really cool exhibitions on. Did you, for example, know that they have Charles Dickens' writing desk over there? They have his desk, his slope, his lamp, and his chair. That was so cool to see. They also have Johannes Gutenberg's Biblia Latina, which was amazing to see. On day 4, we went to the Harry Potter store. This is such an incredible thing to do. I don't know if you know this, but I'm a big Harry Potter fan. Harry Potter was one of the reasons why I fell in love with writing. I read the books when they came out. I think it was on book 2 or 3 or something. But the thing is, since I live in Sweden and I was quite young when they were published, back then we had to wait an entire year before the translation was published. So in the end, I actually talked my parents into buying me the English editions, which was like, I don't know, I was like 12 or something. I was not fluent in English back then. Maybe I was even younger. So it was this really thick books in English, and they were like, how is she going to do that? Well, whatever, reading is good. So they bought them for me, and I started reading them in English because I couldn't wait for the translations. It was a blast. And I just fell in love with storytelling back then, because the stories was somewhere that I could, flee into when things was rough in my life. And I think that's one of the reasons why I write fantasy, because the magic that series brought me at a time when I needed it is just amazing. And when I was there, I actually ended up buying a cute little ribbon that I can put in my hair. And, those who know, they know. So Harry Potter fans will probably recognize the patterns, and people who don't read Harry Potter probably won't. So yeah, that makes me really happy. So inspiring just to be there and just to see the cool Harry Potter store. Today we're walking Highland Park, and yeah, we'll see what more we will do. But such a beautiful weather today, even though it's really, really cold outside. So yeah. In the Highland, it's just not just, a lush elevated park that weaves through Manhattan's west side. The story actually begins in the 1930s, when it was constructed as a part of the massive infrastructure project called the West Side Improvement. The goal for it was to lift the dangerous freight trains 30 feet above the street. Once they had run on ground level, causing many accidents, they actually nicknamed it Death Avenue. So for decades, the High Lane carried meat, products, goods directly into Manhattan's infrastructural buildings, literally into the second floor of warehouses and factories. As trucks took over in the mid-20s, the railways went silent, and in the 1980s, it was actually abandoned, becoming a skeleton and decaying. But the plot twist here is that in the 2000s, 2 local restaurants, I think their name was Joshua and Robert, founded the grassroots movement to save the structure. This really ugly thing suddenly became a symbol of urban rebirth, and they envisioned some sort of public park in the sky. And with community support, I don't know, political backup and stuff like that, they actually rebuilt it, and that's where we were walking. It was so beautiful with all the flowers and everything that you could see. The murals, the installations, and it's such a beautiful way to see the city. And it's also a beautiful reminder for us as writers that we can rewrite history, we can recreate stuff. For writers, it's more than just a park. It's some sort of metaphor that decay can turn into beauty, abandonment to opportunity. So remember that. And I don't know, I think it's some sort of poetry over it. I really, really loved it. After that, we went to Chelsea Market, which is just at the end of the Highland. We had some food, we had some ice cream. So as you can tell, being in New York is a lot about just indulging myself in different senses, seeing things, smelling things, eating things, coming alive, just, I don't know, enjoying the moment. On a personal side, I have a tendency to work. I put a lot of energy into my day job. I put a lot of energy into my writing. And then I work out a lot. And I rarely take the time off just to enjoy myself. So this was so important when I was in New York, to just recharge. And one of my favorite ways of doing that is, of course, to go to different bookstores. So one of the bookstores that we visited was the Left Bank Books, and they have a lot of really cool like rare books and collectors books and stuff like that. So if you're there, check it out. I loved it. Brooklyn Bridge was also one of the coolest things that we did when we were there. I've seen Brooklyn Bridge in so many movies. I've read about it in books, and now I actually got to walk it. So that was also such a highlight during that trip. But what about the writing? Quite a few mornings that I spent at the public library. So all in all, I ended up getting through like 75% of the manuscript, which felt great because I haven't read it through that fast, just doing the comments in the margins. So that felt great. And soon I'll be all the way through so I can do the hopefully last edit. We'll see if it's the last one, but yay, I'm super excited. And another place that we visited that was so cool was the Museum of Modern Art. It was also such an amazing experience. I haven't seen that with many cool artists in such a long time. So it was just amazing seeing all these paintings, these sculptures, so many bodies of work that inspire me as a writer and as a creator myself. So yeah, this was my experience of living out a week in the life of a New York writer. So if I was a full-time writer in New York, maybe that's what my life would look like. Maybe I'd be spending like a part of the day in different libraries writing away, then the afternoons doing stuff like going to museums, bookshop, art exhibitions. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not living there right now, but it was fun to just, live and dream and do these amazing things. And I guess the best part was the fact that was able to share it with people I love, with my family. So that was so amazing. And I feel recharged, re-energized, and happy. So I hope you enjoyed this a little bit different kind of video. If you did, I might do more vlog-like videos in the future. Please let me know in the comments what kind of videos you want me to share. And if you like this video, it would really help if you liked it and commented and subscribed for more content like this. I will talk to you soon. Bye.